Would you like to see how the new Lisa Eldridge Velveteen liquid lipsticks look on my over 60 skin? Then please keep watching. Hello, I'm Des and welcome to my channel. I'm a nearly 70-year-old woman who loves to talk about beauty, fashion and lifestyle. I'm super excited for today's video because I've got my hands on two of the Lisa Eldridge Velveteen liquid lipsticks. Now, these shades, and there are 8 of them, mirror the original velvet lipsticks that Lisa came out with, which I think was in 2019, something like that. And I picked 2 of my favourite shades, and they're a little bit similar, but one is darker than the other. And I picked Muse, which is my most repurchased of her velvet lipsticks, actually, and the most wearable, the most sort of everyday type lipstick. But I also picked Blush because that's a deeper version, as you will see. And Lisa talks about them as being the velvet lipstick's younger sister. And I suppose what she means by that is that they are a bit lighter in their application. The application is different because they're in a doe foot. She calls them a little bit more playful, and I can kind of see what she means, and I'll show you what I think she means when we start to apply them. Now, these are vegan and cruelty free. They're also fragrance free, and they retail for £21, which is £6 cheaper than the original velvets. And as ever with Lisa, she took a long time in the creation. In fact, she said that she was going to release them last year, but didn't because she didn't feel they were quite right. And some of the delicious ingredients they've got in them are vitamin E, pomegranate extract and passion fruit oil. Now, Lisa says that they're smudge proof and long lasting, which of course is the USP for all liquid lipsticks. So without further ado, let me swatch them for you. So let me first show you Muse. And as you can see, you've got a lovely long bottle and it feels quite sturdy. It feels like glass, I don't know if it is. And then you've got an angled doe foot, which Lisa says you can use to apply the liquid lipstick in different ways. So let me swatch that for you. So there you go. That is Velvet Muse. And actually, I thought it would be fun to swatch Velvet Muse, the velvet, as it were, the original, next to it. So let's do that. And this is Velvet Muse. And as you can see, I've used a lot of it. This is, I think, my second or third. So there, you can see the shades are not that dissimilar, but it's difficult to tell because this hasn't dried down yet. But they are, I think as it dries down, you can see it's not that different. So that's Velvet Muse. And then let's get Velvet Blush. This is Velvet Blush. What's really lovely about this sort of, if it is glass, it's kind of, what's the word? Opaque, which I rather like. And it feels very sturdy. Ooh. So this is Velvet Blush. Let me put that over here. You can see that's quite a bit darker, but it's in the same kind of vein. And let's put Velvet Blush, the original velvet, next to it. Now this one I haven't worn as much because it is a very deep colour. That's it there. So we've got Blush the Velvet, Blush the Velveteen, Muse the Velveteen and Muse the Velvet. So let me now show you what Muse and Blush look like on the lips. Now I'm going to apply them in different ways. So first I'm going to apply them as I normally would, just straight from the doe foot. So I'll come close. Glides on very smoothly, very easily. Now Lisa says these lipsticks don't dry down quite as quickly as the usual liquid lipsticks would. Doesn't feel at all drying on the lips. Not quite dried yet. In fact, the bottom bit already seems like it's dried. God, look at that colour, isn't it gorgeous? God, I really do love these. So let's try the transfer test now. We've given it about 30 seconds to a minute. So I'm going to try to see if I can get anything on my hand now. I've got the tiniest bit up here, but that's it, which I think is because it seems to collect more in my top lip. But otherwise, nothing else at all on there, which I think is pretty good. Now, let me show you how she applies this with her fingers to get a sort of more your lips but better look. So I'm just going to get a bit on my finger here. And I'm going to kind of smear it. That's what she suggests. Just get a little bit more just in case I was a bit too light. But see, I haven't got much on there. It feels so gorgeous on the lips, just really silky smooth. Velvety almost. So what do we think? Okay, so that is Velvet Muse. Now let's go to Velvet Blush, which is a lot deeper colour, and see what we can do with that. Okay, Velvet Blush. Now this is a much stronger colour, as you will see. We'll apply it, and we'll apply it using the doe foot. You get the flat side. Really does feel amazingly velvety, but you can see how strong this colour is. Now I do sometimes find, particularly with darker colours, that it looks like I've got a very strong lip liner on the top lip. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little finger and I'm just going to smudge it down if I can. Just a tiny bit. Like that. Just to soften the edges a bit. There. I hope I haven't feathered it too much now. So we'll let that dry a little bit and then we'll do the transfer test again. But what do you think of the colour? It is quite strong, so it's probably something I wouldn't wear in the daytime, or at least not in this application, but I will show you how I've applied it using my fingers as well after this is dried. So I think this is a colour that I could wear in the evening and perhaps in the autumn as well. I'm not sure that it's really a summer colour, but it is a beautiful, beautiful colour. What do we think? Okay, I think we've probably given it 30 seconds to a minute, would you say? And let's try the transfer test on this one. So we've got a clean hand. It does feel like it's dried. Okay, now similarly, we've just got the top lip staining a bit. So probably that would need longer to dry, I suspect. But we're not going to do that on camera because we'll be here all day. So I think the lesson is, maybe you need to smooth this out a bit depending on the type of lip you've got. I've obviously got lips where maybe more of the lipstick is collecting and therefore not drying down quite as quickly. But anyway, let me now show you what it looks like applied with my fingers. Right, I'm just going to get the doe foot now and pop a bit on my finger like that. And then I'm going to dab it on my lips. Right there. Rather smooth it, I should say. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful colour. Right, let me just get a tiny bit more. I'm just conscious that I want to put the top back in because we don't want the lipsticks to dry. Because that's the only thing with liquid, is like liquid eyeshadows, isn't it? You've got to put the top on, haven't you? Right here. Feels so sensual. There we are. What do we think? I do think that is a really beautiful colour, and I think actually with the blush I prefer it applied this way than I did applied straight from the doe foot. But actually Lisa does suggest various different ways of using the doe foot. She says you can use the flat side, you can use the pointy side. I think I've worked out that with my lips, and I know I've had this with my Anastasia Beverly Hills, is it, or the Natasha Denona? No, it's the ABH, that's right. I know I find this with the ABH liquid lipstick, which is one of my absolute faves, that I do get this sort of weird thing going on with my top lip. I've obviously got some kind of folds in the top lip that makes the liquid lipstick settle into it and not dry properly. But anyway, I am absolutely delighted with these lipsticks. I think they are stunning. And actually, if we go back to the swatches, they haven't quite dried yet. That's probably because I put rather a lot on. So I think in terms of transferring, maybe, yeah, the jury's out on those. And I guess it's a bit of trial and error. But in terms of long lasting, now I did actually wear Velvet Blush to work, applied this way. And it did last until I'd had lunch. So it lasted for coffee, but not lunch. But to be honest, I'm not bothered about how long they last, as long as they last before I start drinking or eating anything, and then I can always reapply. So what do you think? Are you going to give one of these Velveteen lipsticks a try? Let me know in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. And talking of subscriptions, how about subscribing to my monthly newsletter? And in that newsletter, I don't just talk about beauty and fashion, but I also talk about lifestyle, books, music, podcasts, all sorts of things that make our lives pleasurable. And thank you so much for watching. It means the absolute world to me. It really does. And I hope you're doing really well. And I look forward to seeing you on my next video. Bye.